terrifically large and filled with diverse people, countries, cultures, and beliefs. Our dear leaders, I'm here to speak my voice, my worries, and our concerns as humans living in one world. We as youth of this generation needs your action to stop the destruction of our environment and having the equality to all. The purpose of being global citizen is for us to have a better world showing the respect of individuals, no one should be threatened, and foremost, to have a better environment. To our dear leaders, my concern is the life of our new generations, and the suffers if we continually destroy our environment. So please, hear and listen to our voice, and give actions to have a better world.
Human-induced problems with the ecosystem are not new. Throughout antiquity, the issues of deforestation, desertification, water contamination, climate change, and the extinction of species are present. Nevertheless, with today's advanced science and technology, people will do harm to nature and do it quicker. The results are amplified further. On the other hand, human beings are motivated more than to exploit natural resources to meet the demands of the blue due to population growth. My message to the world leaders is they need to come up with a solution to solve the climate crisis, because every year, the problems are getting worse.
The rate of urbanization and industrialization has rapidly risen in this 21st century, and this is due to factors such as a booming population growth and migrations from rural places to urbanized areas. And this actually leads to huge environmental concerns. An example of this would be the changes in the land and in the environment, all in order for urban life and infrastructure to be supported. One of these changes would be the displacement of soil in order to create buildings, streets, and drainage systems throughout cities, all of which greatly change what happens to precipitation as it hits the ground, and how that change leads to flooding. And this is a big problem. According to the US Geological Survey, in nature, as precipitation falls into the ground, it infiltrates and enters the soil, causing it to get stored into the ground and lowering the chances of flooding. However, in highly urbanized and industrialized areas, wherein the soil is either displaced for drainage systems and building foundations, or covered up by non-permeable materials such as buildings, roads, and other hard infrastructures, these areas end up having low capacity levels to absorb and keep precipitation. And once rainfall gets to ground level, it instead flows over non-permeable materials, causing runoff in these urbanized areas, which eventually leads to flooding as it increases the volume of places in which wastewater is dumped into, such as urban streams. In a study done by Berland et al., they stated that the upgrade of a city's drainage systems as the answer to the flooding and excessive stormwater only partly addresses the issues regarding it, because of how wastewater is not easily captured hydraulically and how improvements create stagnant water within the system.
The Philippines has an estimated $840 billion worth of untapped mineral resources, according to the Mines and Geosciences Bureau of the Philippines, which is responsible for giving permits to mining companies to do exploration of mining areas and to commence operation. The Philippines is highly vulnerable to typhoons and heavy rainfalls, as we have all seen these past few months. This can adversely impact large-scale mining projects, thus degrading the natural resources relied upon by the rural poor. And with climate change, typhoons are ever becoming more powerful and more unpredictable. This further complicates the difficulty of attempting to rely upon mining as an agent of development. Mining industries and companies cannot but have negative impacts on our environment. Many mining areas throughout the world show the impact of man's assault on Earth in polluted bodies of water, such as rivers, mine dumps, waste areas all over the world. This calls for even greater efforts on the part of the government and their industry to improve the situation, including technology and regulation. Needless to say, the Philippines is one of these countries that is unquestionably facing serious biological disturbance and environmental damage due to, well, irresponsible mining industries. Although mine safety has improved greatly in recent decades, mining still must be considered as a hazardous industry. And because of its nature, it is likely to continue to do so.
To address this crisis, the government holds the most power to make this change possible. The government is obliged to take this action along with the people who are involved. You can provide the support, educate other citizens, warn abusive businessmen, and inform the ignorant about what is currently happening. We should stop exploiting nature. We should protect nature for it to protect us. Mother Nature no longer can protect everyone. And it is such a shame because no one is actually trying to make a change. I hope you leaders will prioritize this event because our nature is dying, and we are dying too. In the Philippines, the ENR should stop the further establishment of subdivisions. The ENR should stop allowing mining to excavate what they call treasure, when in fact, businessmen were the only ones who get all the money and riches. How about the poor? Are they the one who should suffer along with nature? Man up and start this change. Hear us, please make this happen.
We are here to start this petition once again. We are desperate and we call for your assistance to help us get through all this because we can only make it possible if we do it together. Let's plant more trees, protect forests from getting cut down, protect the land from getting all dug up. We must restore and reclaim our nature. We should stop all this abuse just for so-called economic development. Development is not something we can acquire without sacrifice. But who are we to let nature do all the sacrifices? We do not own this land. We are only renting it, and in return, we shall protect it. Exploiting nature became usual for us, and it's definitely wrong. We should take a step forward and begin what should be done. Hopefully, in the next centuries, we can finally restore nature, even if it's only little by little. We will get through this because we believe
We
can.
Make
This
Happen.